Starting and running a business is hard, but you don't have to do it alone. Whether you're an established business owner or thinking about starting a side hustle to earn extra income, I am here to teach you how to show up as your unfiltered self, level up your business, and thrive as a mompreneur. Let's embrace the chaos and start enjoying the journey together. I'm Amy Traw, and you're listening to the Motivated Mompreneur podcast. Hello, everyone. I am joined by a special guest today. I have Rebecca of Mainstream Boutique, North Canton, with me. Mainstream is located right across from Walsh University in North Canton, and it is the most fabulous boutique ever. So if you have not been there before, you want to make sure to check it out. So without further ado, Rebecca, welcome to the Motivated Mompreneur podcast.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited to get in and dive in and talk with you today. So, tell us a little bit about your journey. Where did you start? Have you always been a business owner? Tell us your journey.
All right. Well, when you say journey, it makes me feel super, super old, and I don't feel that way. But yes, there has been a journey. I went to school for fashion, merchandising, marketing, and management. From a young age, was always interested in art and fashion, so there really wasn't any kind of discrepancy there about what I was going to go and do. Just how, and I moved to Charlotte to go to school there to the Art Institute of Charlotte. I was there for 4 years almost, and it just really solidified that's where I was supposed to be and kind of my calling. I did some work with Belk stores, which is like a Macy's department store down there. Did some work with them in their private label. And then I moved back here 2008, kind of when the recession hit. It's kind of a wild ride for everybody, and just graduating in December. And I did some event planning over at the Metropolitan Center. And then, oddly enough, I did for almost 4 years some marketing management for a senior care facility here in Canton, Ohio. And as odd as it may be, I mean, I was still, customer service and connecting with people is really just my heart song. I just love stories and um, just connecting with people and making them feel loved on. Somewhere towards the end of that 4 years or middle, my heart was really being called upon to just really come back into fashion. I just really wanted to be somewhere where I could do the buying and encapsulate making people feel loved and stylish, and kind of make it like a Cheers bar-esque kind of place for women to come.
I love
And
that. Yes.
like where
Yes.
everybody knows kind of place.
Yes. Yes.
And so that's kind of where it came from. I was like 26 at the time. I was young and I was bold and fearless and had no kids. Uh, so I guess, engaged or married. No, I was married at the time. So I talked to Eric and he's like, listen, if that's what you want to do, we don't have too much to lose. Let's go for it. So,
Yeah.
except, your prominent paying job of a salary and,
Right.
401k and all those things.
Right. Right.
It was scary. But yeah, so all in all, it kind of took a year to put everything together,
Mhm.
and we're on year 10.
Oh my gosh, that is incredible. So, it hasn't been an easy journey along the way. I mean, going through a pandemic recently, which you have a second grader, correct?
I have a second grader and I have a 3-year-old.
So yeah, you were like suddenly thrust upon like into this fire of, all right, how am I going to have my business survive during this pandemic? How am I going to, navigate kids and being at home? How did you do it?
Oh gosh. Isn't that like the number one question, right? Does everybody want
Right.
to ask that coming out of that? I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. All I know, it's what I know best is to just forge forward, be flexible. I really heavily try to rely on my faith and my
Mhm.
family. You need that support. If you don't have that support, I mean, what else are you going to do? So it's kind of like the concoction or the equation for everything, right? So,
Definitely.
at that time, my sister and I owned it together. We parted ways in 2021, no animosity, no anything like that. We
Sure.
actually talked about it before 2021. She has a culinary degree and I have a fashion degree. So I don't, it was never meant to be a forever thing. But she stuck with me through the pandemic, and
Yeah.
we held hands and we went live every single day. And we talked about recipes, we talked about, I don't know, we just hopped on and virtually talked to everybody. That's what we did for
Right.
81 days.
I love it. And I mean, really just like you said, forging forward, taking that
Yeah,
next step and doing things scared and just, kind of distance yourself from that outcome of, all right, well, we're going to try it and see what happens. So I think that's fear is something a lot I don't know anybody that doesn't have some fear throughout the day. And, am I making the right decision? Am I doing the right thing for my family? Am I raising these kids okay? But to just forge forward and have that support, I think is definitely needed.
of course, I think in anything, right?
Definitely. And then too, having your faith as a foundation to fall back on. If you don't have that, it's just whew, it's an even
Well,
harder journey.
it's
Definitely.
blind, really, and the whole world was going through the same thing. So I think
Right.
everybody gave everybody grace, right? A little,
Definitely.
it's kind of a time I wish we would all go back to, kind of in a way, because it was so much grace was given to everybody.
Right.
We
And
all
there
went
was
through
so
it.
much support for one another and just rallying around one another and that sense of community. It was kind of nice not to have to rush around all the time.
I agree. As much as we look back on it and say, "Oh gosh, that was just such a crazy time," it was kind of a beautiful time too.
Right, right, exactly. I remember the weather was just absolutely stunning that spring. It was just crazy because, I was furloughed from my job and I remember being home with the kids. I'm like, oh, this is kind of nice. I mean, once I survived the
Right,
homeschooling part, 'cause my oldest was in kindergarten at the time. So,
right. That was a yeah.
yeah, that was interesting. We did crafts and cocktails and it was fine, but I'm not the crafty mom. I am not Pinterest perfect, and that's okay. That's who I am. But we survived. And, at the time, my kids were like, Mom, I don't like you being my teacher. You're the worst mom. And now they're always like, I wish we could do that again. I'm like, yeah,
Right? Thank
yeah.
you.
So I must have done okay. I didn't, like traumatize them too bad.
You
But
did good, Amy.
yes, we all make it through one way or another. So, what advice can you give other moms starting a business, running a business? What have you learned along the way?
I think it's easy to fall into the trap. I think it's very easy to fall in the trap, but I still do this, and I have to remind myself, when you love your business more than your family, um, it it doesn't fall into place. For me, it's very important to have balance. I could very
Yes,
easily open 3 stores. I mean, not easily, but I could open 3 stores. I could drown myself. I could be there 7 days a week, but then you don't have anything else to give to anybody else, to your
right.
staff, to the community, to your family. You have to trust others to carry out your expectations. So I would say that don't try to do it all by yourself. Um if you drown in it, and then you just you suffer, and the business actually ends up suffering, it doesn't make it better. And then also, to start off small. I
Yeah.
mean, when I look back at the pictures, you don't have to come out with a bang of like all this inventory or all these events or all these things. You grow into it, because if you get in and you drown at the very beginning, it's very hard to come back up. That would be my two biggest things. Start off small,
That is
don't bite off more
incredible.
than you can chew.
Yeah, yeah. And like you said, the balance with the family, it's so important because it's easy to be working 24/7 in your business. And I don't want my kids to feel like they're on the back burner because I'm trying to grow a business. So I even struggle with that as well. And I'm trying to be more intentional and set those boundaries. And okay, these are my work hours. When I'm not in my work hours, the phone's going away. I'm not looking at my emails. I've disabled all the social media notifications because I want to be present for my kids. I'm looking at them already and they're in first and third grade and it's like, what the heck happened? Like, didn't we just come home from the hospital with them? We were just talking about that yesterday. Like, what happened? Where are we? Are we in a time warp? Because I don't know. Post pandemic, I feel like time has just gone exponentially faster. Do you feel that
I
way
couldn't agree
too?
more. I
It's
do.
it's just wild. And I'm like, what's happening? So yeah, trying to be more present is an ongoing struggle. It's an ongoing
Yeah, it
struggle,
is.
but
You gotta
truly,
delegate too. You have to
yes.
delegate, because if you really want people to be invested in your business, like your
Yes.
baby or something that puts food on the table for your family, you have to trust people. It's
Right.
not always about like so much money. Some people just want to
Right.
feel a part of something and have responsibility and like look at their strengths, play to their strengths so that you can delegate to them to make that actually makes them better employees when they have their hand in a little bit, not too much, that they can be
Right.
responsible for it. Yeah.
Exactly. And trusting in that, it's hard to ask for help, but I think sometimes it's even harder than to trust someone else because you do care so deeply about this business. But
It
it's so important. I love
it is.
that. I love that. Now, you guys are doing some great things in the community to support fellow business owners. So, what are some of the types of events you host, or what types of things is Mainstream doing to support local in the community?
Oh my gosh. Huh. That's one thing I really missed during the pandemic, right? Like, because we weren't doing as many of those things. And we kind of opened up that way. That was kind of like what Elizabeth was doing, all those events and things like that. So I've always been, actively involved in the community as much as possible, whether it be in my church or volunteering things. So I was like, okay, how can we host these events and make it like fashion for a cause? So,
Right.
right now we're doing every Wednesday in October. I have a nonprofit that we're calling it Spread the Love event. So we partner with a nonprofit. They don't have to show up. We just talk about it, bring awareness to it, show volunteer opportunities, and then 10% of the sales every Wednesday go back to that organization to help them live out um, their mission. We also do pop-up shop. So like take whatever you're seeing at like a 720 or something like that. And we partner with these gals in our shop because women are already shopping anyway. So why not give
Right.
them a little boost? We don't charge them to be there. We just, it's just a showcase for them. We do fashion shows like off premise. I have one coming up on the Saturday actually for the Ronald McDonald House, Wine, Women, and Shoes. It's a big event. We do the Altman one. We also like to do like we're bringing back like the little crafty nights too. So we're doing the things like with um, Deer Path. We're painting three-tiered stands for the holidays, little coffee bars, or you can do like a winter's thing, or so paint and shop things. Sort
Yeah.
of
Oh
thing.
my
Yeah,
gosh. I
yeah,
love it.
yeah.
You are truly supporting community and bringing people together. And I just absolutely love that about you guys, just how much you support your fellow business owners. Because at the end of the day, it truly is about community over competition. When we can
Yeah,
raise each other up, it's such a better world. We
I
all
agree.
succeed then. When we're empowering each other, we can learn from each other, we can grow, we can help everyone thrive. So,
Yes, I agree.
Rebecca, where can we find more about you? Where are you online?
Okay, well, we are on Facebook, Main Street Boutique North Canton. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, we go live there. So it's a great way to see our new arrivals.
Ooh,
And then on Instagram, we are Mainstream North Canton. So we post on there daily, and our stories are a great way to see what's just getting unpacked and what's brand new. And then which last fall this time mainstream boutique north canton.com is a 24/7 e-commerce site. So when things are up there, when we get them in, we put them up on the website. You can do pickup or you can ship out, whatever you want to do.
that is fabulous. And we will link all of those up in the show notes for you. So, Rebecca, thank you so much again for taking the time out of your crazy busy schedule to share your knowledge with us, to share so much value with us. We appreciate everything you're doing.
Well, thank you to you as well and everything you're doing. It's an amazing just what you're doing is just amazing for the business community, especially moms. And I'm so excited for confident sales.
Oh, thank you so much. So are we. So, everyone, if you are loving the podcast, please take a minute to leave us a review. We would truly appreciate it.